What is going on, YouTube? It's Tyler from Mission VR, where it's my mission to bring you guys good quality VR content. So we've had quite a big week in VR. There's a couple major things that have happened through the Oculus event that we'll be talking about in a future video, but this video is going to be focused on the top 10 Quest games for under $10, and there is actually some really good games on this list that you wouldn't exactly think that you'd be able to get this much content out of for just $10. Now, I did stay away from free titles because that's actually going to be a whole separate video, so we're going to be revisiting the top 10 free Oculus Quest games you can get in 2021, but for this list, it's going to be the top 10 under 10 Quest games you can get here in 2021, and overall, there's some really solid titles on this list. So make sure you guys do drop a like on this video, comment which game you think is your favorite, or if there's a $10 game that I somehow missed that you think is pretty good, leave that in the comment section. Drop a subscribe, and let's go ahead and hop on into this list. Okay guys, so with our first pick on this list, we have Void Racer Extreme. Now this game is basically a racing game, and if you're into Tron, it's basically Tron in virtual reality, which is pretty cool. Overall, for $10, you actually get a fair amount of content in this game. I wouldn't say it's the best racing game available on Quest, but it certainly is the best racing game that is at this price point. And if you're somebody like me who doesn't spend hours and hours and hours playing racing games, you might not want to spend $30 on the next level up racing game and just pop 10 in and really get a great experience out of this, and that's really what you get. There are multiple different game modes in this game, everything from online multiplayer to career modes. There's a bunch of different tracks, 12 different types of tracks. There's over 100 single player levels. There's multiple different bikes. There's power-ups. There's a lot of good things going on in this game, and overall, it's definitely a solid title, and certainly one that if you get nauseous playing VR games, maybe stay away from this one because it is certainly fast-paced, and you're going to be doing lots of loops, and there's going to be all kinds of things going on here. But overall, if you are looking for a fast-paced racing game that is relatively light on your wallet, this is a really good one. So with our number 9 pick on this list, we have Skyworld Kingdom Brawl. Now this game, for only being $9.99, has a lot of content available in it. There's 20 different arenas that you could play, which definitely varies up your, every single battle you get into. And really this is a card game, a card management game where you have your deck, and as your cards come up and you manage your points, you put down cards and you summon units. Now your units go and they battle the opposing player or computer, depending on who you're playing against, and ultimately the goal is to destroy their base. So it's a strategy game, kind of an RTS game to some extent. And if you've ever played some of the mobile games that are available where you're basically summoning units and you're dueling somebody, that's kind of what this game is, only it's definitely explored a lot more in depth, and it's in virtual reality, which makes it really cool. Now this does have some cross-platform PvP with other things. It's got a bunch of different unique arenas. It's got a ton of different troops and spells and all kinds of different customization for your avatar. Overall, this game is really solid, and it will definitely, if you're into RTS games or into competitive games like this, you're gonna have a really good time playing this one, and I highly recommend it. Okay guys, so with our number 8 pick, we have Hand Physics Labs. Now this is a really interesting title. Now it's not necessarily, I would say, a full-blown video game to some extent, as much as it more is a kind of a puzzler with really, really cool VR mechanics to it. But for that being said, only $9.99, and overall has some really cool things that I think, if you're into VR and you're a VR enthusiast, you definitely want to check out, and it's got a great price tag. You're ultimately going to be going through like 80 different puzzles, and you're going to actually be using your hands to track down, what you're doing. And this game really surprised me. The hand tracking is really impressive, and it just shows you that, where virtual reality might be headed in the future, we may not need controllers. We're still going to need some form of movement. That's something that will be interesting to see how we go. But overall, this game, for only $9.99, it really does show you the power of hand tracking in virtual reality, and it's overall just a really cool experience generally. I think it's one that if you're looking for, some hours to put into just kind of a puzzler game, and you're looking to just casually play some VR, this is a great title for that. Okay guys, so with our 7th pick on this list here, we have Dread Halls. Now this game is without a doubt one of the most terrifying horror games I've ever played, and it's probably, I would say there's probably other games out there that have scared people more, but this game just has an aesthetic to it that's going on that really is just horrifying. You never know when a monster is going to pop up because everything's procedurally generated. The way the dungeons are actually laid out with the blackness in front of you, you can barely see more than a couple feet in front of you, so it always keeps you on the edge of your seat. The music is just, it's sinister, and whenever you're getting chased and you're trying to open a door and you're twisting your hand and it's, having a hard time opening, it really does give you that feeling of horror. And I think the one thing about this game is it's not cheap jump scares. It really is that dread, that fear of going around the corner and it being there, but you never know if it's actually gonna be there. So overall, this game, if you're into horror games, it's a really, really good game. And for the only price of $9.99, it's absolutely worth it. So with our number 6 pick on this list, we have a game that I've talked about plenty of times when it comes to the best quest games you can get, and this is Blastin. Now, this game is only $9.99, and it's been around for a little while, but if you look at the ratings, it's almost a perfect 5-star because the game just truly is a really, really fun game. You're gonna sink some hours into this, and if for the price tag of $9.99, it really is worth it. You're gonna be playing as a competitive shooter in a 1v1 environment, and you're gonna have all kinds of different weapons popping up, and all kinds of just different strategies to take out your opponent, and overall you just have to be better than them in order to win, and I think that that's what makes this game so addicting. Now, another nice thing is that the developer is actually still pretty active. They just released a big update last month, which gave them the ability to have a mission system and a new VR lounge whenever you're in between rounds. So overall, it's kind of becoming a social experience, but also has that competitive edge to it, and there's plenty of things to do in this game. Overall, for only $9.99, this game is actually really, really solid. So at our number 5 slot here, we have Crisis Brigade. Now, there is actually a Crisis Brigade 2 out, but that game is $20, and Crisis Brigade 1 is only $5.99. So yeah, if you're looking for something that's a little newer and is the next version, then go ahead and go up to the $20 one. But at $6, this game is a bargain, and there's no doubt about it. It's a lot of fun, and it's not the most realistic looking game. You know, you're not going to get these major realism type graphics in this game, but overall, you're going to have a really good time playing this game. The shooting mechanics are pretty solid. The story is pretty fun. There's going to be some moments that are really enjoyable in this game overall, and it's kind of one of those games for $6, and if you're, bored one night, and instead of renting a movie, go ahead and play Crisis Brigade, and it overall will satisfy you really, really good. It's overall a solid game, good shooter game, and for the price of $6, it really truly is a great bargain. Alright, so at our number 4 slot, we have a game that's going to require your entire play space to play, and that is Thrill of the Fight. Now, what makes this game so unique is there's no movement with the touch controllers. You pretty much are going to use your whole room as the boxing arena to actually move around and dodge and do all these, basically boxing mechanics. Now, this is more of a boxing simulator rather than, a arcadey, you're going to be lighting people up kind of fighter. This is definitely one where you're going to have to use your hands to block. You're going to have to step around the arena. It overall is going to feel like you're actually in a boxing match, which I think is what a lot of people are really liking about it, and it's got it captured. Now, for the price of $9.99, you're really going to get a lot here, and if you're a boxing enthusiast, this is one you absolutely should pick up. And what makes this game even better is if you're not playing on PC VR and you're playing on the Quest 2, you could be wireless, which means you can kind of take it anywhere that you have a big play space. So it certainly makes it a lot more enjoyable because you can kind of step out of that the realm of maybe just your office and really move around the boxing arena, jump around, and just experience what it's like to be untethered in virtual reality. Overall, this game is really, really solid. Okay, guys, so at our number 3 slot, we're kind of getting into the meat and potatoes of this list because there's some really solid games here. And the first one is going to be Coaster Combat. Now, this game is a lot of fun. For $9.99, you're going to be riding around in roller coasters, but you're not just going to be riding in roller coasters and just sitting there enjoying it. You're actually going to be shooting objects, shooting other enemies. You're going to be basically on this epic roller coaster ride where you're going to have to defend yourself, defend your roller coaster, and accumulate points and just basically do all this stuff. Now, what makes this game even more unique is the fact that there are like hundreds of different tracks. Every ride's going to be different, which is a great thing for replay value. There's a lot of new content that they've added since the last time I looked at this. So there's a bunch of different tracks, different types of weapons. You're going to be doing everything from pirate pistols to laser guns to wands as you're riding through a mystical castle. Overall, this game is a lot of fun for a roller coaster game for only $9.99. It's another one of those great games to introduce people to VR because they can play it sitting down, and it doesn't necessarily quite give them as much nausea because they're not standing up. They feel like they're actually on a roller coaster ride. Overall, this game's really solid for $9.99. I highly recommend it. Okay, guys, so at our number 2 slot here, we have Deism. Now, this game is only $7.99, which makes it definitely attractive, and there's actually a lot of things going on here in this game.
ultimately the goal is you are a god of your people. You're going to be building up a civilization basically from the Stone Age all the way up until the future era. So it has some civilization type vibes to it, some 4X type vibes, not quite as big or as in depth as those games are, but there is definitely that classic godlike game feel where you can bless your people with resources, or you can send meteors at them to destroy them. It's a lot of there's a lot of things going on here, and really nobody's gonna judge you on what you're gonna do to it. But there is overall kind of a overarching story. You have to take care of this heresy that's slowly corrupting your people and converting them to false gods. Overall, for only $7.99, this game's really solid, and it has a lot going on in it, and it's visually actually kind of really attractive, even though it's got a unique art style going on. Overall, great game, highly recommended. Alright guys, so with our number one pick on this list, it's very well deserved, and that is Waltz of the Wizard. Now, here's the thing about this game. For only $9.99, which is its current price tag, you're going to get a fair amount of content here. I think probably though, when we're talking about hand tracking, we talked about hand physics labs earlier, this game has hand tracking, and it's done in a really, really good way. Just to be able to interact with this magical world with your bare hands feels really amazing, and you can move around. They have a really nice movement system that doesn't utilize controllers, which is certainly interesting, and it makes you think about the future of VR games in general. But when you turn a corner and you see a big knight coming at you and you can snap your fingers and he explodes with magic, that's a really powerful feeling. When you're able to actually interact and grab objects in the world with your free hands, it feels really good. Now, here's the nice thing about this game in particular. They have a lot of puzzles and a lot of different little secrets and magical abilities, and it's all there. But there's a major expansion coming for this game this year that's going to seem like it's going to add a whole entire dungeon / story. So certainly if you can hop in now for only $9.99 and you're going to get all this content, which is definitely several hours worth of things to do, and it's probably a game you're going to come back to several times, this game overall definitely deserves to be the number one spot on this list. It's a really, really solid title, and it's a ton of fun. If you're looking for some hours to be able to just put into exploring and letting yourself go in a magical realm, this game's definitely it.
Okay, guys, that is it for this video. I hope you guys found a new game that you're going to, go ahead and buy for under $10. I hope I was able to help you out with that. Please do let me know in the comment section below. But that is it for this video. I will see you guys in the next one.